Hey guys, Kev here, and I have some rapid reviews to do for you. I'm trying to do these more often when I have just like a few knives that I've done unboxing, first impressions. Like, do you need a third full review separate video? I don't know. I don't want to just make videos to have more videos, right? And if I don't feel the need to have a full dedicated video to a knife because I've already done that once or twice, then I'm going to do this. So hope you guys like it. Let's kick it off. We got the TwoSun TS212. This is a Tiguass, Tiguass, I believe, design. You can see his logo right there. And it is a TwoSun coming in with D2 steel, titanium, and carbon fiber. It does have a satin finish, stone washy satin, whatever you want to call it. You guys decide. This was sent to me by my buddy Justin over at Tier 1 Gear and EDC Reviews. Please go check out his channel if you haven't. He is an awesome dude. While you're at it, you could subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Hit the like button on this video. You know what I mean? Got to show for them likes. And notification bell if you want to join the memberships. I did start that. There's a join button right down there somewhere. And I made a video explaining why you should give me your money. I'll take it. Let me get it. Let me get y'all money. I'm just kidding. I'm a jackass. Anyway, I also have a Patreon. And there's a bunch of affiliate links down there for stuff, especially White Mountain knives, where probably most of these knives came from. I didn't buy any of them, but I'm guessing most of these came from White Mountain Knives. You can use my code LEFTY10 at checkout. You'll get 10% off and free shipping in the United States, which is pretty fucking cool. Justin over there is a great dude. Okay, it's enough of the business, as my buddy Captain would say from True Crime Garage. Pimping my creepy camper shirt. If you're into true crime, check out True Crime Garage. All right, TS212, Tiguass design. Yeah, it's pretty cool, actually. You know, I am usually the guy who nitpicks every knife to death, and I'm trying to be more positive, right? I'm trying to think, like, if it wasn't just about me, right, how would I visualize this knife, or what would my opinion be? And not just that, like, if I wasn't snobby about knives, like, guys, like, when I grab knives, I'm like, do I grab my Trevor Berger custom or my Gavco custom? Or, you know, do I grab this Riot-made knife or that Riot-made knife? Like, I know that I'm sort of spoiled. I do it to myself, though, right? And I know I'm sort of picky, and I know I'm sort of bougie, and I get all that, right? But I can still appreciate the budget stuff. I do. I appreciate a lot of it, actually. But doesn't mean when the review's over, I'm going to start carrying that knife all the time. Now, there are some exceptions. I carry a lot of Asher knives. I carry the Kubey Royal. So I like a lot of those knives. But I try to put myself, I guess, in other people's shoes. And I'm trying to do that more because my old self, last week, fucking glasses, man. I hate these things. Got my Peach Pear LaCroix. Last week, I would have shit on this knife, is basically what I'm saying. If you saw my unboxing, I probably wasn't that thrilled about it, right? But I'm trying to look at it like, as a knife, is it good? Like, if I was into this, would this be good? And the answer is yes. This thing is awesome, right? The TS212, I hate D2. That's never going to change. I hate D2. And I have no understanding as to why you would put it on a knife with titanium and carbon fiber. Like, you got nice materials there. Why are you putting D2 on it? Just use your 14C 28N. I get it. If you do a satin on that, it'll scratch. But I'd just rather have 14C on this, and it couldn't have cost much more, right? So either this is an older design, which I guess it is because it's the 212, and it was before they started using a lot of 14C, or they just decided to do D2. I don't know. But anyway, it looks cool, right? I'm not a big trailing point guy, but this one's not crazy trailing point. Just a little bit at the end there. It's close to a drop point. But again, I got to do a lot of reaching to use the tip where I cut a lot of shipping labels. You guys know this, and it's not perfect for that. But the ergonomics, you got a swell here, kind of a mini swell here out to a flat. or on a corner here. And guys, it is absolutely comfortable. You got plenty of room, large glove size hand. I'm just like really enjoying it, right? Feels great in hand. You have good control of the blade. There's no jimping up here, but it's not needed. You can see it's got pretty good stock on that, but not too thick. Comes down to a decent edge. I mean, it's not fantastic, but it's freaking sharp. I'll tell you that much. They put a great edge on it. It is dead nuts on the centering, which TwoSun usually nails that. I'm guessing there's no blade play. Nope. No lock rock. Nope. It'll drop pretty good on the action. The detent, guys, is absolutely perfect. Like, I don't think I can fail it with the flipper. Just failed it. Sorry, it's my kid's monitor. She's still napping. Hopefully I can get through this. Can't fail it on the flipper, and then you got a fuller. Oh. There you go. Left-handed, it's not the best because the lock bar, but I can get it, and it does work. Right-handed, obviously, you're going to have an absolute blast with this thing, right? Yeah, I mean, it's good. Ergos, it looks good. It's got that carbon fiber in it. It cuts well. It fits good. It's got good action. I mean, hell, can't really talk much shit on it. You know what I mean? It's $79 at White Mountain Knives. I don't think it's in stock right now. $79. Now, yeah, the D2 sucks. I wish they would just come out with a new one in M390 and sell it for $120. People would drool all over it. So aesthetically and everything, it's not for me, but I totally get it. It's an awesome knife. TwoSun nailed it. And Tiguas, sorry, somebody tell me how to say that in the comments. Killed it on the design. So, sweet knife right there. Now, we have a couple knives from my buddy Jared over at Neves Knives. These actually all came from other channels, so go check out Neves Knives. I'm sure you don't need me to tell you, but this is the Kubey KU322. I've done a couple videos on this. It's freaking awesome. The action is incredible. It basically drops shut. It's got a pretty stout detent on the reverse flick. But I think it's like broken in since I got it. So maybe it just needed a little bit of breaking in, or it was cold when I got it. I don't know, but it's feeling great. Especially if I flick it down towards the bottom of the hole. I do struggle a little bit with it if I try to go up here. It's not fantastic. There's no blade play. There's no lock rock, and it does that. So it is basically a Kubey Arius. Looks like an Arius design, but they kind of improved on it because they added a finger choil up here, which some people would argue is not a finger choil, but it does fit my, I guess, skinny finger. I don't know. Some people say I have fat fingers. Some people have skinny fingers. I don't know. You tell me. Maybe it depends on what I ate that day. But you are really close to that edge, and if I know Jared, that's fucking sharp. So, you got to be careful there, but it would be cool if they had the full choil and the flipper, because that's where the Arius is kind of lacking. The detent on the flipper is spot on, absolutely fantastic. It looks cool, obviously. Got the Arius vibe going, got that kind of big leafy blade thing going, spear point thing. Ergonomics, spot on. It is a wide knife, not thick, but wide, and it fills your hand, man. It is very comfortable. With that said, it is a little bit of a beefer in your pocket. I did not love carrying this because it was kind of just like taking up a lot of room in my pocket. I like slimmer knives a lot. It depends on the knife. But if it's going to be this wide, I'd rather it be a little bit thinner this way. So that's a gripe. My biggest gripe with this knife, I have two of them, is the bead blasted D2 is absolutely dumb. And you're going to hear that theme throughout any Kubey budget knife I ever review until they fucking change it. Because why would you bead blast D2? You're just asking for rust, especially if it's sent to a ass juice central place like me. So it just kind of sucks having D2 and a bead blast. 14C 28N, people. 12C, I don't care. I fucking hate D2, man. I don't love G10 either, but I get it. It's a budget knife, fine. Better than FRN or some cheap carbon fiber they're going to use. It did show up with a little rust on it. Came right out with a rust eraser. No problem. Access to the lock bar is great. Right-handed, left-handed. you have no problem. Just slide it out of the way. Bing, bang, bong. Everything works left-handed extremely well because it's a liner lock. Has a reversible clip. My second gripe with this knife is the clip. You're going to hear that whenever I review a Kubey budget knife too. Because they do not recess the clip. They recess the screws, but not the clip. And what ultimately happens with every fucking pair of jeans I wear, it goes in, it gets caught right on that cutout, and then I gotta give it an extra shove to pop it in. That is what she said. I absolutely love the KU322. It is a home run from Kubey. Make a premium one, and I will buy it. That is the Kubey 322. Next up, another one from Jared, the Kubey KU122. This is probably not my least favorite out of these four, but probably my least favorite budgety Kubey so far. So I have the Kubey Royale, or as my buddy douche number 3 would say, the Royale with cheese. The Kubey Royal, designed by my good buddy Colin over at CM Knife Designs. I love this knife. Again, bead blasted D2 and that clip suck. Other than that, this thing's better than these two because it has these contoured sort of milled handles, which is way better in my opinion. Yeah, I just think it's better. So I don't know where I was going with it. Anyway, I've reviewed that, and then I reviewed the 322 and this one. And this is my least favorite just because of the aesthetics. I'm not a fan of the blade. I'm not a big fan of the pointed up Warney. That is, if you've seen any of my reviews, like the half track, the Koenig Mini Goblin, I just don't like the pointed up Warney. It feels like it's taking away from the functionality of a Wharncliffe. So like, if I take a Warney, again, guys, I cut a lot of shipping labels out because I'm shipping your fucking giveaway stuff. I'm just kidding. But I'm shipping a lot of loaners back. I'm shipping giveaways. I'm shipping knives I sell. I'm shipping fucking all types of products I sell. Like all types of stuff, right? Loaners that I'm loaning out. And I cut a lot of labels, and that is my number one kind of like factor when it comes to a knife and how functional the blade is. For me, personally. So, on a Warney, I can have a straight edge right here. For example, it's the only one I can think of right off the top of my head. Terrible, I know. But this is the Custom Gavco Nurse. Love this knife. I need to review this still. Just got it back. There is no lock stick and poop. Anyway, I pinch grip it like this, and what do? I go to cut the label. I'm right there. Boom, I'm into that cut, right? Okay. This knife, I got this awesome Wharncliffe. I go to cut it. I gotta now go up higher and cut because they fucking put it up on an angle. Why are you doing that? Just give me the straight Warney. I need somebody to explain to me in the notes. What is this, high school? In the comments, I need you to explain why they point these up. I just need to know. I don't understand it. Is it to keep it out of the path of your hand or some? Is there something you're cutting that is better that way? Like, is it better for slicing through stuff like this? Cardboard, is it better because it's not straight, it's up? I don't know. Please tell me. Is it more stabby, like Friday night gas station fights? Am I going to, like, you know? That was pretty smooth transition. You saw that, right? You saw that. I know you saw that, right? Whoosh, bam. Damn, this thing's good in the reverse grip. All right, cool. Now, with that said, it being my least favorite, it's also my favorite in terms of action. The detent is the best detent I've felt on a budgety knife, I think, ever. Sorry. The action is incredible, guys. It is a medium. Like, just perfectly cooked steak. I mean, detent, sorry. Yeah, it's just so good. It really is. You can thumb flick it. So easy. It has that satisfaction to it. I don't know if you guys, if you've handled a great detent, you know what I'm talking about. When it pops, it just flies out and it pops. But you're not forcing extra pressure. You're just giving it enough to shoot out. It's why Liang Ma is so good. Just enough to break it, and it fires out with authority and locks up. You know, I'm not sitting here like on a Vero Axon. Watch, when it breaks, it barely even. I have to give it extra to get it to shoot out and lock up. I love this knife, but if it was a stronger detent, I'd love it even more. Gavco nailed it. When this breaks, it fires out and it locks up, but it's not too much to where it like hurts when it breaks, right? Because I will admit that on... Hang on. Sorry, I just heard like a doo-doo-doo sound like something died, and I was like, what the hell was that? I have no idea. I will admit that like the F5, it's just a little too strong. So if you do this over and over throughout a night, your finger is going to hurt after a while. That's why I started doing the push technique on the F5, where I just kind of like shove it out with my finger. But either way, it's going to hurt after a while, right? So on this knife, they absolutely just nailed it. That's what I'm getting at, okay? So I love the detent. It thumb flicks, it reverse flicks. The ergos are great in this grip, but if it was any smaller, it would be too small. It's just enough to fit my large glove size hand. You have nowhere to choke up. You just don't really have options. And it's not the most, it is comfortable, but it's not the most comfortable. Uh-oh, she's awake. All right, I gotta rip through this. I got a thumb ramp right here with some jimping, and I can get in there, which is nice. It cuts well. It's got good blade stock. It's a good knife, and it has good action on the close, not great. The 122 is an awesome knife. Same shitty clip, same D2 bead blast. All right. Thank you, Jared. Lastly, we have the PMP Spartan. This knife, I looked it up on White Mountain Knives, is $150. $150 for green micarta and N690. What did somebody call it the other day? N6 shitty or some shit like that. It was funny. I hate N690. Everybody knows that. Now, this knife ergonomically fits pretty good in my hand. It needs to be a little bit bigger to be perfect, but fits pretty good in my large glove size hand. It has a right side carry afterthought of a clip. I mean, look at that thing. Just atrocious clip. Super stiff. Just not a joy at all. But it does fit my hand pretty well. You can sort of choke up like this. I did take this apart for John. This was loaned in by John over at Grateful Panic Knife Reviews. Please go check out Grateful Panic. All three of these guys, Tier 1, Neves, and Grateful Panic, are different, unique characters in our community, and they're all just amazing dudes and good friends. So, shout out to those guys. This knife is a fucking train wreck. That's the best way I can put it. You want $150. You want my $150. I'm pretty sure John spent $150 minus coupon, minus 15, so he spent $135 on this knife. And he got a knife that has decent reverse flick action. It is on washers, by the way. But look at this. Okay? This is after he's had it for however long. After I got it and tried to just let it break in. Then I took it apart and even polished the washers, which if you've seen my Sea Otter video, if you've seen, there's another one I recently did, that works. It works pretty good. It helps a lot. The action on this is atrocious. Now, there is a ton of blade play. I don't know if you can see. There's a ton of blade play, and it still is barely dropping, right? And the only reason there's that much play is because to get it centered, you have to have that much play to get it to have any action at all. Like, if you tighten this in the slightest to get it to have a little less blade play, it will become the stiffest knife you've ever felt. Like, it's beyond stupid. Okay, those are terrible things. Now, it does reverse flick really nice left-handed. I very much enjoy that. The front flipper is the kind where it has absolutely zero mercy for your ass, okay? So if you miss this, you're going to fuck your finger up. It is going to hurt. But if you get it, it bangs out, feels pretty good. but it's got that sharp corner, you know what I'm saying? D10 is good. It's just the action is too stiff. Lastly, the biggest problem is this lock bar. Look at where it is. The lock bar locks up here, and you're pushing down here, and it just doesn't give you enough to like get it out of the way unless you're gonna use your finger to like bring the blade down like this, right? So you gotta like get up in here and shove it, and then you kind of get it, but now like it's just $150 just does not make sense. It's a loose pivot because the blade has to be this loose to have the action, but the hole makes sense. It's a good detent. It ergonomically is pretty good. And you know what? I like the blade. I like the shape. I like the grind. It's pretty thin. It cuts really well. Decent stock. All of that is good, but it's N690. So that's the PMP Spartan. I would not spend my $150 on that if I were you, but that's up to you. I would spend it on the KU322, the KU122, and if they come out with one in 14C or something, the TS212. I wouldn't buy this as is, but you might if you love D2. Totally get and appreciate this knife though. So those are some cool budgety knives, quick reviews. I love you all. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.